right, here we go. It's another episode of the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast coming to you from the Illegal Shift studio. Hi, everyone. I'm Dan Carroll. Let's just go ahead and open my first beer of the probably the last 2 or 3 days. I don't even think I had one on Sunday.
Good work.
How about that?
I think you drank a couple beers.
On Sunday? Was I here on Sunday?
Yeah.
We did a podcast on Sunday, so I did drink beer on Sunday. So then,
but I'm still proud of you.
I mean, I'm not trying not to drink beer.
it's just the way it works. It's just the way it worked out.
Just kind of fell that way.
Welcome back.
So here we are. Pappas is doing a thing with a World War II veteran today.
The Lord's work.
Hopefully, nothing he can get arrested for.
Hopefully not.
Yeah. So that's about it. I mean, that's where we're at right now.
I mean, Pappas is. Let's be honest. Pappas is kind of boring. So he's probably not going to do anything. He's not going to do anything that's going to get him arrested. I mean, outside of fighting, outside of a IHOP. But
yeah, well,
other than
that was the most exciting moment in his life in the last 5-10 years.
Correct.
Thereabouts. But Jason, you will be glad to know that speaking of boring, that Kamala Harris is going to give a speech tonight.
Oh, what time? What channel?
Not only is she going to give a speech, she's going to charge people $25 to stream that speech live.
All right, so
isn't that great?
Disregard my last what time, what channel.
Yeah.
Disregard my last statement.
Who on earth? I mean, there's the headline. Hold on, let me get this out of the way. There's the headline right there. Digital tickets cost $25 to watch.
Failed
the live
presidential candidate Kamala Harris to speak on Wednesday. We have some pop-ups, but yeah, $25 to watch.
So it's not tonight; it's tomorrow night.
Oh,
today being Tuesday and all.
Well, I still probably won't clear my dance card.
Who in their right mind? Well, and look, and let me just say this too, though. I love the viewers of One More and I'm Out of Here. I love all the comments in the chats. But if you're dumb enough to pay $25 to watch Kamala Harris speak, then please remove yourself from our program.
Unsubscribe. Unfollow.
We like to have a certain intelligence quotient here.
Well, and everybody's got their opinions, but
I mean,
I agree.
What kind of gibberish?
I agree with you. If you're going to listen to what that twat has,
we've had for the last 5+ years, we had to listen to her speak.
Yeah,
and I mean, she provided a lot of entertaining moments here on the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast.
Oh, it was podcast gold. I didn't have to search very far. You're more the news guy than I am, but I did not have to search very far to find this soundbite. I
mean, how many times did we play the sound bites of Kamala Harris just making an absolute fool of herself?
and the fact she wants to do it again. And the fact that she still has people. Let's be honest. She still has people that are running her day-to-days. And that may tail off, but I guarantee you she still has people. And the fact that they think that's a great idea.
So mind you, now this is $25 just to get a digital ticket. That's just so you can watch the event. Okay? Takes place Wednesday in San Francisco. If you want to watch the event, it costs $25 for a digital ticket per live stream. Then if you want to attend in person,
there's another, and
be a sponsor, how much do you think that costs? Don't look.
I'm not looking.
What do you think she would charge for that?
$5,000.
$50,000 for a sponsorship to attend the event.
Oh, Samsonite. I was way off. It's like Dumb and Dumber.
Samsonite. And the thing is, there are I probably a handful of people out there who are willing to part with $50,000.
I'm looking at the comments right now.
To go to an event featuring Kamala Harris. She's going to critique the Trump presidency. That'll be big. She's going to critique his economic policy because, the economic policy that she had when she was running for president was so much better than what Trump had.
I.e., Joe Biden's.
For God's sake.
Because she didn't change anything. She did not change a fucking thing.
She's going to urge supporters to push back against Trump. Oh, look, I'm giving you a preview, a free preview of the speech right here. And it didn't cost you 25 cents. You know, it cost you a few minutes of your time. But for God's sake.
A little electricity and internet, but that's it.
But I mean, just the idiotic gibberish that spills out of her pie hole. Who's going to pay for that? Especially $50,000 to go sit there and watch it happen in person.
Why they seem to think that that's a great idea. Where is this at? Where is this being?
Someplace in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And someone named Brick Suit commented on this in Twitter and said, is there any report about which accent she will use? Because she was doing that during the campaign.
Yes.
If she was in the South talking to black people, she tried to use that, you know, that kind of Southern kind of ghetto kind of, you know, street accent. And then, you know, she was in New York talking to, you know, an economic club or something. She was trying to play it straight, like she was really smart. I mean, what an idiot. What an idiot. $50,000 to go watch her speak.
Every picture, and you guys can't see it, but every picture he's scrolling past, you know, it's her, you know, still shot of her at a podium. Like,
I mean,
none of them are different. Not a single one of them.
We saw 4 years of her clown show.
And my allergies are fucking with me.
Oh, my allergies are terrible.
But I would try to mimic her cackle, but I will save everybody from not doing such. But everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. It's embedded in their heads. So I don't need to do it. But you know exactly what that's going to be.
But there is a school of thought out there that she is a legitimate candidate for 2028 for the Democrat Party. So it's Kamala Harris, Bernie Sanders,
your friend
AOC, Ocasio-Cortez, Pete Buttigieg.
Butt plug.
You know who Pritzker is, the governor of Illinois? That big fat dude.
You burped right in my face.
I'm sorry. He comes from a super rich family. Guy's got all the money in the world, and then I should have sent you that soundbite of him talking about. He did a speech on Sunday, talking about literally saying that Trump needs to be attacked, that we need to attack Trump. And so, I mean, how many times have we been lectured to by the left in this country when it, you know, talking about the language that we use, you know, that we need to have civility in our politics and all this stuff. And he's out there talking about how Trump, you know, people need to organize and attack Trump. I mean, if you listen to it, which I did, you can easily see that as a call to violence. And so, you know, Democrats get away with this kind of crap all the time. But Pritzker is supposed to be a candidate. Then you got Gavin Newsom, who has just absolutely run California into the ground.
I think he'll be on the list. He'll be on the list, I'm sure. Because he seems to be, and this is my opinion, and again, I'm not, you know, a political analyst, but my opinion, he's so prima donna that he needs that. And even though he fucked California up with the fucking wildfires and everything else, even before that, he feels like he has to crest that mountain.
Yeah, well, they're screwed now because of all the free Medicare that he gave to illegal aliens. And now he's it's funny because he's asking Trump for like a $3 billion bailout,
right?
You know, for his Medicare that he ran into the ground because he's given all these illegals free health care.
And we've got somebody in the chats that's from California who's living through it, which I'm glad she's here. We'll shout it out real quick. We got Fuck Around Find Out, Cincy 513's in the chats, Jill Billy. Let's see. We had Johnny earlier, Mike Dutcher. Got a few more in here, and they're coming in, coming out. But no, we appreciate you guys being here. But no, like Falk. I mean, she's a longtime listener and, you know, very, very, you know, supportive of us. She fucking lives that shit. I couldn't imagine. And I don't know what it's like. Oh, Wilker just popped in. I don't know what it's like over there. And I say over there because I think it's a different country. I've been there. I've been there once and was not a huge fan. But when I was in Austin and hanging out with Ross and Dan, we were talking. I said, hey, you guys here in Texas, you guys don't have income tax. He goes, no, we don't. But he goes, but our property taxes are through the fucking roof. So he's like, dude, I spend like fucking between $20,000 and $30,000 a year on fucking property taxes. So even though you're not paying income tax, they're getting you one way or the other.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not getting off scot-free. It's just a matter of what lifestyle you want to live, what climate you want to live in, apparently. I didn't realize that the property taxes were that high. But California, I can't fathom for what it is there versus what it is here. But it's all relative, right? Because cost of living there is higher. Salaries are higher. So you have to break that down and try to put it and make it relative.
Yeah. I mean, I lived in California back in the mid 80s,
1885
and
1849.
The air
49ers.
No, the mid 80s.
You found the first gold nugget.
The area that I lived in was out in the high desert, and it was about a 2-hour drive to Los Angeles. I had friends who lived in Los Angeles, and so we'd go to the beaches in LA, and we'd go to the beaches in Hollywood and hang out in those places. Even back then, there were still some areas of conservatism there, and I probably wasn't as politically aware at that time as I am now. But even back then, and I'm in my early 20s, and I'm bumping around LA. It's cool, and the nightclubs and all that kind of stuff. But I knew even then that
you were a pimp. You were a pimp.
I was like, there's no way I'm gonna live here for a majority of my life. There's no way I'm gonna try and find somebody and get married and settle down and all that crap.
You probably die. Like you would probably die.
I don't know,
especially back then.
It was crazy. I mean,
you would probably have been dead.
No, I mean, we had fun. It was fun. Sure. It was in an early 20s playground, but there's no way I would want to live there. Even back then, I mean, little homes, houses that are probably half the size of the house that we're living in now. We're going for $500,000. Back in the 80s.
Wow.
Houses that like the one we're in now, we're going for more than $1 million. That's back in the 80s. I mean, I can't. They're probably $5 or $6 million today.
That's
crazy. I mean,
that's crazy, fucking crazy. Man.
So, no, California, great to visit. I love the scene. I love being out there.
Get in, get out.
It was fun while it lasted, but there's no way I would much rather live here than live there.
Well, and when you look at the leadership that's in there and everything that's gone on, especially and the wildfires brought a lot of that to light more so than it already was. Like it was already there.
Yeah,
everybody was looking at Newsom and what he was doing, but once a tragedy hits and you see how the leader leads, it makes a lot of sense. Like, okay, all right, got it. Figured that part out. So I titled the show, Dude, Where's My Jet? Just because I thought this was absolutely astounding to me how this happens. Now, I'm not a military guy. I'm not judging. But I saw it and I was like, what the fuck? Like, how the hell does this happen? But so for the listeners, I pulled up an article real quick, but I got a little video to go with it. But U.S. Navy on Monday said an aircraft carrier responsible for launching strikes in the Red Sea against Houthi terrorists lost an FA-18 Super Hornet that went overboard. And when I saw it, I was like, I know it happens. I mean, I know it's happened before. It's happened. It's happened in the past. But I'm like, holy shit. So the USS Harry S. Truman lost a fighter jet and a tow tractor while operating in the vast waterway. What's curious about this is they haven't said exactly why it happened, whether it was user error or I had heard one report that they were actually getting not missile strikes, but they were getting fired upon by the Houthis. So the carrier had to make it somewhat of an evasive maneuver. I don't know how you make an evasive maneuver with a ship that's that big, but I'm not one to judge. I wish David J was in here. The plane was actively under tow in a hangar bay when the crew lost control of the aircraft. The jet and tow went overboard and were lost. Sailors towing the aircraft took immediate action to move clear of the aircraft before it fell overboard. So
I love that statement.
Yes,
the crew members took immediate action to get the hell out of the way while this thing's going over the.
So apparently there was one guy obviously on the tow, and then apparently there was one guy on the aircraft. Not in the seat. I don't think, but like on it, like maybe checking something else. The way I read it. And they both jumped clear before it went overboard. $70 million, Dan. $70 million, not counting the tow.
It's a terrible thing. But I don't understand and that was the surprising part to me when I read the article. I was surprised that the aircraft was under tow.
Sorry, 67.4.
Because
that was close.
I've never been on an aircraft carrier, but when I was in the military, I was around F-16s, F-15s. I was, these jets are very expensive. I was around them all the time. And there's certain things, there are certain protocols, there are certain ways you behave around an aircraft like that, so you don't damage it, so you don't do anything that would be it cause that jet to not be ready to deploy at a moment's notice. And so the idea that you can tow a jet like that around with a tow truck and look, aircraft carriers are huge, but when you're in a hangar or you're on deck and you've got all those other aircraft up there, that suddenly becomes a very cramped space.
Yeah, exactly.
And how that tow can be moving from point A to point B without, I would imagine that you would have to have someone walking in front, someone spotting on the side to make sure you've got clear distance,
and then somebody in the back, and they're signaling saying, "Hey, you're getting too close to the edge."
Because I know that when I was in the Air Force, that there were times if they were towing an aircraft into a hangar, okay, to do maintenance, whatever. There were times you've got to have a spotter on each wing. So the crew chief of the aircraft would call me over. Hey, can you come spot for us?
Yeah.
And so I'd go out there.
Do the same thing with fire trucks.
There'll be one guy on one wing, another guy on another wing, with a guy usually in the front of the back, and that aircraft is getting towed in, and you're making sure that here's the edge of the hangar, here's the edge of the aircraft. You're getting a thumbs up. You're clear over here. I mean, it's not technically. I mean, anyone can do it.
It's like backing a fucking trailer.
As long as you can make sure that part of the aircraft is not going to run into that part of the building, and you can make that judgment call. Right. You're good to do it.
It seems pretty simple.
So I cannot imagine that there's not a similar protocol for moving those things around on an aircraft carrier, and how they can get close enough to the edge of the aircraft where that would, or not the edge of the aircraft, but the edge of the carrier, the ship, to where that would become a possibility where that thing could go over the edge.
And that's
someone fucked up.
And that's what I don't know, because I did read one snippet where it said they may have tried to turn that aircraft carrier, which isn't going to turn quick. We know. I mean, what they call it, 5 acres of American soil, no matter where it is. So it's not turning quick, but they said potentially something happened. But I have this news report that we'll play this video.
Well, aircraft carriers are not out there on their own.
Correct.
When an aircraft carrier goes out, there's a carrier group.
Yeah.
And some of the ships in that group, their job is to defend that aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
So if that aircraft carrier is under attack,
that's why I smoke shit in Battleship. I fucking kill things. I kill things in Battleship.
Are you good at Battleship? We've never played Battleship.
I'm really good at Battleship.
We should play sometime. Do you have the old fashioned game where you put the pegs?
Yeah,
in?
you have to. You have to put the pegs in.
You don't have the electronic one,
No.
do you? Or okay.
No, I'm fucking old school, bro.
All right, that's good. But
that's why you and I get along.
You know, I can't imagine that if there's an incoming missile. Have you ever seen the Aegis systems that the Navy has? And I mean, and they can shred an incoming missile. Yeah. With all the you know, all the lead that they can throw up there at it.
Yeah.
And just destroy those things. So that's
why I thought it was weird. There was only one little snippet that said it may have been trying to evade Houthi fire.
Yeah, the notion that
there was nothing else.
That the captain is up there with the wheel of the ship. I don't know, on left, we're going right.
It's like fucking Blackbeard spinning the wheel.
I don't see that happening.
Let me
wrong about that. I was not in the Navy, but I just don't see it happening.
Right. I'll play this video.
All right, here we go.
The other major story this Monday night, the U.S. Navy reporting an F-18 fighter jet plunged off the deck of the USS Harry Truman aircraft carrier and then right into the Red Sea. The jet was reportedly being towed out of the hangar bay when the crew lost control. The $70 million fighter jet sinking into the sea, and tonight the question surrounding how this happened. Here's Trevor Ault.
Tonight, the stunning fall from an aircraft carrier, a $70 million fighter jet going overboard in the Red Sea, crew members jumping to safety. The Navy says an F-18 fighter jet was being towed out of a hangar on the USS Truman when the crew lost control. The plane and the towing tractor both tumbling overboard, sinking to the bottom of the sea. One crew member was on the plane, a second on the tractor, both of them escaping at the last moment. One sailor suffering a minor injury.
Officials say it's unclear whether enemy fire played a role or
look at that, yeah. I mean, how they're
or mechanical malfunction.
The Truman
how
has
they
been
coordinated
protecting commercial shipping in the Red Sea from ongoing attacks by Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen, the carrier coming under fire several times. A U.S. official tells ABC News initial reports suggest a sudden movement of the carrier because of Houthi fire might have contributed to the crew losing control of the F-18, but those reports remain unconfirmed. Earlier this year, the Truman collided with another ship. The commanding officer was then fired. And back in 2022, this video from a naval investigation shows the moment an F-35 crashed upon landing on the USS Carl Vinson. Fireball erupting, the jet sliding off the carrier and into the South China Sea.
David, this is the decommissioned USS Intrepid. The Truman is a far larger aircraft carrier, and officials say the chances of recovering that $70 million fighter jet are quite low, as that is an active conflict area, David.
Yes.
So I know where the comments are coming. It's all Pete Hex's fault. He pushed it off. I watched him. I saw video.
Wow, that's interesting.
I saw video. No, this is my thoughts on the comments that are going to come. Is Pete Hexet pushed it off because he's in charge of all of that and said, you know what? I don't care about our money. And we're just going to push it off. Now, I will say I'm glad both of the naval airmen or groundsmen, I don't know what they're called, what their titles were, but I'm glad they're okay. First and foremost, the fact that we can't get a $70 million aircraft off the bottom of the ocean floor, how good is it going to be when you pull it up, for one? But I know there's going to be all kinds, and highlighting for you, Dan, of where that's going to come from. But I'm glad they're okay. I'm sure it's going to be Pete Hex's fault because he's just not doing his job correctly, and everything is fucked. And Trump actually helped him push it off.
Well, it's good that they the crew members survived, and they'll be debriefed, and they'll have to give their explanation about what happened. And if they do a thorough investigation, we should find out about this. It was amazing for me to read about how many
rolls right into that.
How many members of the military are actively working against Trump, working against Pete Hegseth, working against the changes that he wants to make. He's already fired a bunch of commanders at different bases, people who refuse to follow orders. And it boils down all the way through the enlisted ranks of people there who think that they're doing the right thing by defying the legitimate orders that come from the secretary or come from the upper commands.
Let me stop. Let me stop
These
you there.
people are being dismissed as they should be.
Let me stop you there just real quick. So since he posted this or commented this, and he said we'll get it back so other countries don't try to recover from attack. I completely agree that we will, but when he said that right now we're not going to because it's a hot zone or whatever, they'll have ships fucking guarding the area where that is. I have no doubt about that. Yeah, because we're not going to give it to them. I was being somewhat facetious.
How deep is it there?
But I don't
know how deep it is. I don't know how deep it is.
What did it say? The Red Sea?
Are you going to look it up?
Yeah, I'll look it up.
All right.
I'm gonna.
But here's the thing: at least under this administration, I'm hoping there will be an investigation, and then the report will come out, and everyone will know exactly how and why. This F-18 Super Hornet.
Just a quick Google.
Wound up at the bottom of the sea.
Just a quick Google. Red Sea depth. Quick Google. 9,974
Oh my God! If it's at 9,000 feet of water, we may never get that back.
And nobody else has the technology to go get that back. If we can't.
So
but I wasn't sure how deep it was.
There's been another interim report that's come out about the helicopter crash that happened in D.C. And new details about this crash have come out, reveal that the female pilot was repeatedly ignoring warnings from her male co-pilot to turn away, but she flew right into the passenger jet. The American Airlines flight had 64 souls on board, collided with the Black Hawk helicopter near D.C., the Reagan National Airport, in late January. 64 people on the jet were killed. The 3 on the Black Hawk helicopter also perished. The preliminary FAA report indicates that staffing at the air traffic control tower was not normal at the time of the collision. According to ABC News, one controller was overseeing both helicopter and airplane traffic. God damn it.
Oh, look what you did.
No, I keep spilling my beer. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Look what you did.
I know. We got to get some paper towels in here. Anyway.
I need a goddamn adult. I need an adult that can actually have a beverage.
I know. I don't know.
This is great. This is going to be awesome when I pull the AI clips. It's going to be fantastic.
All right. No,
hopefully that fucking thing works. It's
I
brand
know.
new.
No, I lost my place. I lost my place on my thing here. Hold on. Let's see if this.
I can't pick you up, buddy.
I know.
I'm trying.
All right. Let's see they talk about the webcam video. God damn it! What a dumbass. I'm dumb as fuck.
This is the greatest. This is the greatest shit ever. This is what happens when you go live. I love it.
I know. This is like the second time in a row I spilled a beer on my computer. I mean, how dumb is that?
What's it say? This is why we can't have nice things, folks.
I know. I need someone watching over me.
This is why we can't have nice things.
All right. Let me see if I can get out of this.
Oh, shit. Your shit's locked up.
I know. I mean, I might not be. There we go. Let's see. Let me see. The Army released the names of the pilot and the Black Hawk helicopter. So the pilot who was telling her not to turn left and saying you're not following the tower instructions was an instructor pilot. The third pilot, Rebecca Lobach, she was one of the ones killed. The other one, Staff Sergeant Ryan Austin. And Chief Warrant Officer Andrew Lloyd Eves of Great Mills, Maryland. She had 45 hours flying experience and also served as an aide to Joe Biden. So 45 hours flying experience is not that much.
No.
Let me see. Lobach's male co-pilot, Army flight instructor, directly told her to turn away, and she flew straight into the passenger jet.
So, yeah, that's what's confusing me.
Yeah.
As I've read these, and we had our buddy Mark Lewis on, who is a very experienced pilot, has flown that route, as he said, multiple times. He said, definitely pilot error, right?
No doubt.
But all of these communications were when we did that podcast when we had him on. So, I'm confused as to, and I was kind of still giggling at what you were cleaning up, but so you're saying that she intentionally just disregarded and decided to do what she did. Turn right into the passenger plane, correct?
I mean, this story was reported over the weekend by the New York Times.
Okay.
And
I'm just trying to catch up because I was
Yeah.
doing some shit over here, watching that.
But the instructor pilot that she was with told her to turn left, and she did not turn left. I mean, there's a direct quote from the New York Times right here. She did not turn left.
Yeah.
And if you watch certain angles of that crash,
Oh, it's odd. It's odd.
You see,
even
yeah.
as a layman non-pilot, it's odd.
Yeah, you see the jet coming straight in for the runway, and the helicopter just flies right into it.
Right. And at first, I was like, all right, something not nefarious at first, had to have happened. Mechanical or some shit, whatever. And as the story turned, or not turned, but developed over those days, I didn't know, the lanes, because I'm not an aviator. So I graduated as an aviator, but I'm not a physical aviator.
Right.
That they have different lanes. Lane 1, lane 2, lane 3, lane 4, and you have your helicopter lanes. So I learned that. I'm like, all right, cool. I can get that. So then when they reconstructed all of it, it still didn't make sense. Like, what the fuck? So you're saying New York Times. Oh, nobody can see that, but
yeah. But no, the New
but
York Times.
everybody saw the video. I mean, all the videos that were out there. I mean, I'm at a loss for words only because So what's the background of the pilot outside of being Biden? Like a Biden, would you say Biden aid? Yeah,
Biden aid. Not very much. Not very much flying time. 45 hours is not a lot of flight time. Apparently, all her social media stuff was scrubbed before they released her name to the public.
Isn't that weird?
It is. It's unusual, but
isn't that weird?
Yeah. And look, I'm not saying it was done on purpose. I'm not saying anything like that.
Can I say that maybe she was cleaned?
I don't know. Hopefully we'll find out. But at least this much information has come out about it. But and so I take that as a good sign that
was her name. That's right.
That these things need to be investigated, and we, I think as the American people, we deserve to have some answers on that, or at least find out what they're finding out. So that's all I'm saying about that.
No.
So that's two investigations. You got that with that one, and then the jet falling off the aircraft carrier, which for the life of me I cannot figure out how something like that. There's got to be procedures in place to prevent that from happening.
Yes,
got to be, and they weren't followed.
And the investigation going on with the helicopter and passenger airline crash, you can't put a price on that. Yeah, we lost a $70 million piece of equipment plus whatever the tow was. Does not even compare to the lives that were lost, over DC that night, which is that
well, yeah, but I'm sure it's just like you being in the fire department. I'm sure there's certain procedures that, even though they seem mundane and sometimes not necessary, that you follow every single time you perform a certain task, because these kind of things can happen. And that's how you prevent these sorts of things from happening.
You hope to, and you try. Now, people fuck up, right?
Right.
So you don't fall them every single time, but you try to, and you're told to. And if you don't, then there's repercussions that happen. There's discipline, remedial training, whatever. The loss of life on the DC one, I mean, there's no excuse for that. But somebody fucked up. I mean, and we're all human, and we're all you're apt to make errors.
Yeah.
But when you have it at that expense, the $70 million in comparison, I don't care.
Yeah.
Leave that fucking jet on the ocean floor. I don't give a shit. Let's get answers for the for the families, that lost people. So,
All right, what's next there, Keith?
ooh, I got one. So we have another, and this will be a real quick talking point because we've literally hit this ad nauseum, but I just found it funny, and I put it in the description of the YouTubes. But there's a Tesla arson suspect arrested in Arizona. Shocker.
Are they going to let him go like the other ones that are facing no charges? Did you see that one?
Yeah, they probably will.
Yeah.
But I put in the description that this cat needs to probably go back to elementary school. Because he torches his car, the Cybertruck. But then here's what he puts on spray paints after he lights it up. Thief. THEIF. Which, Cincy, when you go to your next monthly meeting, maybe do a spelling test. But no, he tortured. Right, not a huge deal. Like, I mean, we've been seeing it. It's almost
so he's trying to refer to as Elon Musk as a thief. Is that right?
That's the way I'm grabbing it.
All right.
And
spelling is hard.
Right up against the building. I mean, it's nothing we haven't talked about already. But I found it funny in the fact that these idiots. All right, if you're going to torch it, then torch it. That's fine. I mean, it's not, but you're going to do it. But then when you want to throw an extra accolade, you should probably show that you didn't graduate last in your fucking class of whatever douchery you graduated from.
That's like that one commercial. That commercial used to be on. The guy's out there, he's painting the end zone, and he's like being super meticulous, taking all his time. The dude walks up to him and says, "Man, it looks great, but who are the chefs?" It's supposed to say Chiefs. That's hilarious.
Hey, we're gonna throw a quick shout out to our brother Bosco's in the chats, and
Bosco,
his buddy Turtle, who I've got to meet, via podcasting and whatever, had a horrible motorcycle accident, but he has been moved from ICU, so that's good.
Good.
So he's in a regular hospital room, but has a long road to recovery. So we're thinking about you, but appreciate you being here, Bosco. I know you got a lot going on. Dan, have you ever in your life thought about having a sperm race? And did.
I mean, we all won that first race. At some point.
We were all first, right?
Yeah.
That's it. I was hoping you were going to fucking go.
Been winning some races since day one, so you could say that.
So the first ever sperm race hopes to combat declining male fertility. So just a little public service announcement from one more, and I'm out of here.
Well, apparently that's a big thing. Elon Musk is very concerned about that.
Yes,
he's concerned about the declining birth rate here in the United States.
Well, I'm going to give you some medical stats here.
Oh, well, you're the man for the job.
Men have seen a 50% decrease in their sperm count in the last 50 years. 40% of men are never evaluated when a couple is struggling with infertility, and a group of entrepreneurs
Can I stop you for a second?
Want to take the stigma to the conversation.
Whose job is it to count the sperm?
It's probably the part-time gig for the color guard guy. You know exactly. You fucking.
That's what I was thinking.
That's his part-time gig.
I was thinking it's just side hustle. When I'm not scooping people's shit, I'm
counting sperms,
counting their jizz.
You know what? I'm really good at numbers. Dan. This comes from News Nation.
I mean, God bless you. Someone's got to do it.
Right. It may sound like a morning radio show bit, but the organizers of this first ever sperm race wouldn't be surprised if the competition was included in the 2028 Olympics. How about that?
No.
I pulled your term. How about that?
No, there's no way that's Olympic.
Here's why
That's
it's
an Olympic
happening and
event.
how it works. In the past 50 years, men in the U.S. have seen a 50% decrease in their sperm count. A figure that accounts for 30% of all infertility cases. More than 40% of men, however, are never evaluated. Have you been evaluated? Are you,
In terms of what?
your sperm count?
Are
you snipped?
No, I am not snipped.
Oh shit, you're firing live loads. Oh.
Well, I do what I can.
All right, disregard. Do me a favor this week. Make an appointment. I want to see what your sperm count is. I'm snipped, so I'm blowing dust. But you get me a number. I want to see what your number is. Just because I care. I care about you.
Where do I make such an appointment?
You can go to your doctor. Just make an appointment. Hey, I want to see what my sperm count is. They'll refer you.
Well, I'm not in the market to make any more babies.
I know, but I just want to know your number. I just want to know your number, see if you're healthy. Anyway, I'm going to continue.
Well, what's a healthy number?
I don't know.
Then if you don't know, then
I'll know it. I'll know by the time you get me information.
That's probably not going to happen.
I know
it's
probably not going to happen.
I'll probably be playing golf this weekend instead of, rubbing one out for the doctor.
Jizzing in a cup and delivering it. Yeah, I get it. I don't.
God.
So I can't pronounce some of these names.
It's got Hurking written all over it, doesn't it?
It does, but it brought me back to my inner Hurking because I saw it. I saw it literally on the news, real quick, and then I didn't even pay attention to it. And then I saw it this morning while I was making the show. But entrepreneurs Eric Zhu, Nick Small, Shane Fan, and Garrett Nikonechenko, I don't know, want to change that. So I came up in quotes. I came up with this idea last year when I was with a bunch of health people, and they were talking about sperm, and I was like, "Oh, that'd be kind of a sick to raise sperm. That'd be kind of sick to raise sperm." As Zhu looked into the idea further, he found a cause. What's interesting is that the sperm is an aggregate biomarker, he said. So the faster your sperm is, the healthier you are. The better you sleep, the better you eat, all correlate to the speed of your sperm. I'm not sure how fast my sperm will be.
How do you measure that, though?
That's doctor shit. But samples are collected from 2 people, then diluted, cleaned, and put in a fluid that pushes the current to the sperm in order to make them swim. Or as Zoo simplified, think about it as like Formula One racing for sperm.
Well, how long do the sperm live after the event has taken place?
I'm gonna get out of this, and I'm gonna go into this other.
I mean, how much time is there to conduct these these experiments? Is this what Katy Perry and those girls were doing up in space? When, they were talking about.
Well, they're astronauts. They were
talking about the experiments they were conducting on that flight.
Experiments, Dan.
Which experiments exactly?
Sperm racing. No, I saw this and
sperm swim in weightlessness or microgravity.
That's a great question, actually. But here's a video that goes. Here's a news article. Can you imagine? You used to be a newscaster. You were on TV. Can you imagine covering this? Just watch it, and then
there we go.
We'll talk.
Right, let's see how this guy handles it.
Olympic sport, but it's sure creating quite the fan base, and that fan base raised over $1 million for the world's first ever live sperm race today.
Eyewitness News reporter Tim Pulliam live in downtown Los Angeles. He's going to tell us what this is about.
They did a live shot for this?
Just a little bit.
It's a climactic story. It's called the Sperm Race. And it's young men putting their manhood to the test to see how fast their swimmers can go in front of a sold-out crowd. Mysterious white stuff shooting from a water gun made this moment borderline raunchy and entertaining. Downtown LA's night scene exploding Friday with an event billed as the world's first sperm race.
What the hell made you want to do this?
4 contestants came with the goal to win $10,000 in bragging rights for the strongest, fastest semen.
I want to build Olympics for sperm.
Eric Zhu is one of the sperm racing organizers. With the help of wealthy investors, the
God, I
17-year-old
hope AI
Bay Area
pulls
high
it.
school
God's
student and entrepreneur launching this epic competition to raise awareness on male
UFC
fertility health.
weigh-ins.
The general public doesn't talk about it because it's so taboo. It's always been associated with adult entertainment or something that's degenerate. What we want to do is we want to make it more of like a sport or a different type of entertainment, but more of like optimizing biomarkers.
The contenders, who were handpicked out of dozens of young men, were given money each week to train their mind, bodies, and diets ahead of the viral, sold-out marathon.
When you really think about it, we all won our own individual sperm races to get off this planet, so it's only fit that we make this a format that we can all watch and enjoy.
The competitors' sperm put into a microscopic racetrack, and then they're off. The sperm
Oh, you gotta be
literally
kidding me.
captured on this screen.
How do you know which one is
swimming to the
which?
finish line. The winner celebrates while the loser gets slimed. But perhaps this was the
Losers
matchup of
get
the night.
jizzed on.
Male students from USC and UCLA. In the end, the Trojan won. The Bruin got creamed.
This guy's
Okay, so Mark, I
You
hope
said-
I educated you tonight. It all took place
Every
in
jizz
this
joke
studio
there
here
is.
behind me. Grammy-nominated rapper Ty Dolla $ign also performed. The organizers made history tonight. They say this is the first sperm race, but it will not be the last. Tim Pulliam, ABC7, Eyewitness News.
That's why I wanted you.
God.
I wanted you to get checked because I can't do it. But I want one more and I'm out here to be able to support somebody in that race. That fucking reporter was on point.
Well, he used every jizz joke there is. I mean, with that, keeping it PG-13 as much as he could.
Oh my
So good
God.
for him.
Oh my God. That was, I mean,
Although I must say, that reporting leaves a lot of unanswered questions. It certainly does.
well, we're going to investigate it.
It certainly leaves
That
a lot
is
of
for
unanswered
sure.
questions.
And this works out perfect because I'm going to go ahead and play.
Did that guy have like a full hazmat suit on when he was injecting the specimen into the arena or the competition area?
Well, it's got to be clean. It's got to be a sterile area,
Well, sure it does.
a clean, sterile area.
But he had on the gloves and the eyeglasses, and just like we said, certain protocols you follow. Chances are, there's not going to be a
Fucking
mishap with the semen injector. But
oh shit! I hit the edge and it shot and hit somebody in the eye. Now somebody's blind. This goes right in line with my buddy Kevin. This goes right in line with my buddy Kevin. So we're gonna play Murphy Engraving.
Oh, I love it. Hi, everyone. Dan Carroll here. Time to tell you about a great new sponsor for the One More and I'm Out of Here podcast. It's Murphy Engraving. Murphy Engraving is the place to go for your business, industrial, and personal engraving needs. Take a look at the Murphy Engraving page on Facebook, and you're going to see all kinds of unique items that really seem to take on a life of their own because they've been customized with an image, a name, or a logo, and all of it just really beautifully done. The acrylic sports awards that light up are especially creative and very cool. The customized bottles of bourbon, those are my personal favorite. And wait till you see what they can do with items that are made out of wood. The next time you want to recognize someone special or you're looking for that one-of-a-kind gift, you'll be glad you checked out Murphy Engraving. And a bonus, you're supporting a local family-owned business run by brothers Brian and Kevin, who is a lifetime firefighter and Air Force vet. At Murphy Engraving, they turn the ordinary into the extraordinary, and at Murphy Engraving, we are American-made. There you go, Murphy Engraving.
As Dan Carroll would say. How about that?
That's good stuff.
I do like that. Pappas did a great job putting that together. I did a great job pulling the audio out.
I love how the thing circles around.
Yeah, he's got.
I like that.
got
It's very
something-
cool.
It's not a static. It's not a static image.
Very cool. All right, let's.
It actually makes it very easy for me because then all I have to do is hit one thing. As lazy as I can be.
The left continues to have a conniption over Trump and the fact that he fired this judge who helped the illegal escape ICE at the courthouse. And Chuck Schumer was talking about it the other day with Al Sharpton. And so Chuck Schumer is going on and on and on. And he's talking about how Trump is trying to intimidate these judges as if that is something so egregious that it's never happened before. But he forgets that he did the exact same thing. I mean, he didn't have a judge arrested, but the video of that was put side by side of what he said this weekend and what he said back in 2021, which in 2021 is not exactly ancient history, is it?
No.
Not that long ago.
Not at all.
But it's pretty good example of the hypocrisy of the left on this, featuring our buddy Chuck Schumer. Let's see that clip. Here we go.
Sorry, I wasn't prepared for it. I was still laughing about the fucking sperm race.
Don't forget, Chuck Schumer won a sperm race too.
I mean, yeah, he's a winner somewhere.
Kamala Harris won a sperm race. So for God's sake,
he's a winner somewhere.
They're trying to intimidate judges. This is not the first time or the second. They've said they want to impeach judges. They said they're going to go after judges who don't agree with them. That is so against the Constitution. What Trump, Biondi, and the whole Justice Department are trying to do is push that judge, threaten that judge, so the judge is no longer impartial. It is outrageous. You cannot have a democracy without an independent judiciary, and they're trying to clip the wings of that independence.
And they're taking away fundamental rights. I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions.
Wow, isn't that amazing? So Chuck Schumer's all upset because Trump wants to, if there's a judge out there that breaks a law, that judge winds up getting arrested. And oh no, intimidating judges, that's a bad thing. You want the judges to follow along with your political beliefs, and trying to intimidate them, that's not good. But there he is calling out two Supreme Court justices because they might have a different view on abortion than he does.
So all right, so since he says in the chat, so then it's not the same thing. And I'm gonna go like a completely way off rant here. Not a rant, but you watch that video. And the earlier video, 2020, I think is what the label was.
Yeah.
So 2020, Trump got labeled as being him and Elon together. Like, they would mishmash these videos of him being Hitler, standing there on a podium, yelling the way he is, and just screaming, and Elon doing this where he's just. People are saying that's a fucking Hail Hitler salute and whatever, which I think is complete horseshit. He was actually fucking like ranting like he was Adolf Hitler, even though he's a fucking Jew. And I get that. And I understand that. He was ranting like Adolf Hitler. So I find it just so fucking funny where all of this, and he's saying again, words versus actions. I don't even know exactly what that means, but in this context, you want to say how it looks, the optics of it and whatever. Going against the judges, all these judges were completely against Trump. All Letitia James, not a judge,
yeah, but
everybody was against Trump in the judicial system, and what they called lawfare. We heard that term a ton. Why is what Trump has said and done since he's been in office and while he was campaigning, why is it any different? Why is he a different human being being treated differently than anybody else?
Well, this is not the only issue that they've completely. If you listen to Schumer, if you listen to Hillary Clinton, if you listen to Bill Clinton, if you listen to all kinds of Democrats, even Barack Obama, talk about immigration and talk about illegal aliens being in the country, going back to the 80s with Clinton and, the 90s with Clinton and, the early 2000s with Obama. They were all saying the exact same thing that Trump is saying. Michelle Obama was out there on the podcast that she does, and she was talking about, well, Trump wanting to get rid of all these illegals in the country. It keeps her up at night. And she's got a problem with that. And then she goes on to talk about, people of color and how hard she has. I mean, can you think of anyone more privileged than Michelle Obama? I mean, for God's sake. I mean, the list of grievances she has is just unbelievable. And she airs them every time she gets open her idiotic mouth. But, these people are going out, and Hillary Clinton probably gave one of the best speeches about illegals, talking about you're in the country illegally, you're out. If you deport yourself, you can come back in. You got to pay a fine. You may have a chance,
and you do it the right way.
All this stuff. Obama called himself the deporter in chief. He kicked more than 3 million people out of the country, and Trump's only up to 160,000 so far. So.
Isn't it weird? Isn't it weird how different it is now?
Sure it is.
It's so weird. And then, oh shit, who did?
But Schumer's out there talking about how they're trying to intimidate judges, and that's bad. Well, then what's he doing there? Talking about Gorsuch and Kavanaugh. You're going to reap the whirlwind. What does that mean?
What was it?
You're not going to know what hit you.
Yeah. The New York Attorney General, pretty much telling attorneys, you are going after him, and that's what's going to happen. And if not, you're out of a job. It's just it's so different, and I don't understand it. And reading comments from Cincy, it just makes me giggle every time because it is so different. And him and I can have a conversation, and everything's fine. But it's just like the deep down mentality.
Yeah.
How different it is. Because how soon he forgets what happened before. It's just, I mean, and it's not not to focus all on him, but it's just so ignorant because he's one of many. He is one of many where it's, oh, well, it was okay here. It was okay, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Oh, the world, America was great. Everything was awesome. I don't know what fucking world that was.
Well,
because it wasn't good for me.
It's funny. I had a clip on it. We don't have time to play it right now, but maybe on the next one. But I had this clip of an older couple. But I don't want to wrap it up. An older couple that was at a Bernie rally, and this guy walks up to him and says, what are you here protesting today? Well, we don't like the way things are going. We don't like things that are being said. We don't like this, that. And the guy says, "Can you give me one example of some of the policies you don't like?" And the gal's like, him and hauling around. She turns to her husband and says, "Why don't you take that one?" And the guy's like, "Oh well," and of course he couldn't come up with one thing. And it's all this general stuff. Well, we don't like the tone. We don't like what's being said. We don't like we don't like what's being done. Well, okay, well, what's being done? Well, And they went on for like 3 or 4 minutes, and they couldn't answer a single question.
Right, because nothing got done.
Yeah, so I mean, that's
things
fine.
are getting done.
If you want to complain about stuff, at least have one example. But
I like the fact here you'll like this, and this will be the last one that I highlight of his, but I'll put it up there. Jason has tattoos and is a member of a motorcycle gang. All right, so first off, you're a fucktard because it's a motorcycle club. We're not a gang. We are a police and fire philanthropy group. You're a douche. Send him to El Salvador without a trial, and then maybe you'll see. The motherfucker had fucking tattoos, bro. Shut the fuck up. I'm done. I'm done with that bullshit. But I like the fact that you called that out. That's fucking fresh. That's awesome. So we potentially will be back.
Yeah, you should be deported, maybe.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe. Well, I mean, your skin is a little dark.
Well, tell me what good you've done for humanity, and I'll compare my when I retired 27-year career on what I've done. So, eat a bag of dicks is how I'm going to end that. But Potentially, maybe Andrew and I will be back Friday. Dano's son has family.
One good story before we leave.
Well, you wanted to fucking end it, Dan.
Well, I said I wanted to wrap it up, but I just wanted.
I thought I was going to end it there. Go ahead.
But they just want. Can we leave on an up note?
No.
Why not?
Yes, we can. We absolutely can.
Largest winning Powerball ticket.
Ooh.
Sold in Kentucky, which is
that the one in Georgetown?
Yes.
I saw that.
Which is just over an hour away from where we sit right now.
Largest Powerball?
$167.3 million. Largest in Kentucky history. Sold at the Pump and Shop on Connector Road in Georgetown. I've been there before.
Do they do sperm races there?
At
the Pump and Shop.
It sounds like it'd be a good venue
See
for
what
it.
I did there.
But
it wouldn't be one more and I'm out of here if we didn't do something like that.
It's possible that someone who won that lottery ticket may be watching one more and I'm out of here. We'd love to have you on the show. What's it like to win $167.3 million? I would like to know.
If you're smart, don't reply to that. And don't tell anybody that you won.
Well, sometimes they go public.
If you're fucking smart.
If you choose to go public.
If you're smart, you don't. If you choose to go public, yes. But if you're smart, don't do it.
But I'm just saying it's not that far away. It could have been one of us, but at this time it wasn't.
Damn it.
I know.
Potentially Friday, maybe. I'll put it out on Instagram and Facebook, and we'll let you know if we're going.
Thanks for watching. That was fun.
We appreciate you guys. Remember, subscribe, download. And
I think I got all the beer off of here.
I can't wait for the AI to pull that shit up.
I'm such an idiot.
Hey, we love you guys. Take care.